Because I met her twice, and both were during COVID.
I'm with you. I do as well. So we're gonna extend this a little bit if you don't mind.
Warning. Following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Action. It was Monsterpalooza 2018, I believe. It was 18 or 19. I want to say it was 18 because
So it was before COVID.
Before lockdown, yeah.
Right.
And I went up to her, and if she's watching this, no disrespect, I'm just sharing my story.
Yes, sir.
So I walked up to her table with my buddy Adrian, who stars in all my movies. And we're just waiting there, and I guess she went to the Starbucks and was taking quite a little time to return to her table. Didn't think much of it. I was excited just to meet her, and for some reason during like the interaction, it came across to me like, let's get this over with. Versus when I've met Scout Taylor Compton, where it was like, "Come here, sweetheart. Hey, darling. Hey, this. Hey, that." Like just words of kindness, and right. not to try to like make Danielle sound like maybe she was having a bad day, maybe there's a plethora of things that were affecting her that day. She has kids, husband, whatever it is. Sure. That could have been affecting her, but my experience was kind of I wanted to meet her all my life, not all my life, but from 7 onward, and then it kind of was a little sour in my opinion because I thought I was going to meet someone who was like, oh, the fans, and it was kind of like not how I expected.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, sometimes life doesn't turn out fair. It's just the way it is.
They say don't meet your heroes, man. Yeah. And man, I unfortunately that quote has been wrong, and it's been right. And the times it was wrong, I have been just on cloud 9, elated, like. Most recently, Dick Warlock.
Rub that shit in. Just rub it in. Thumb that shit right in. Thumb that shit right in. Just take that thumb that shit right in, right there.
We're best friends forever, side by side, me and you.
Just it was because of his age, I was afraid to see, because you don't want to see someone that you've looked up for so long be in a decline, I guess. And couldn't be further from the truth. He was great. Dick was great. There, I said it.
It was lovely.
Meet Us in the Man Cave apparel available now. Get your very own Meet Us in the Man Cave house, boat, car, child, guitar, batteries, dishes, household apparel, kitchen apparel, hoodies, sweatshirts, t-shirts, shower curtains, phone cases. Oh, the list could go on and on and on. Isn't that right, Chris?
Question. Can Chris? I do it with my butt cheeks?
Meet Us in the Man Cave apparel available right now at redbubble.com. Remember, only a few of those items are available, including hats. That even meeting Dick and Dick's wife, in my head it sounded funny. I'm glad.
It is funny.
Well, we went to a recent convention that's located here in Ohio, the Horror Hound Ordeal. And there was something that couldn't have been shared on video. And even if I was allowed to, half of me says, damn, I wish I could have shared this with the world. But if I had got the camera, I don't think I would have gotten the experience, because when we went to this convention, there was somebody who was with us there who's we've met here through YouTube, and he's come on here every once in a while, and is a very, very, very nice young man. His name is Jake Patton.
Okay.
And he went to the horror convention with us, and we went back again. I went with Jake too. He wanted to get another autograph with Mr. Warlock. And when you're in that area, they no cameras, video cameras allowed going on. So we had an opportunity because there was very little people standing there at that time. And there were some questions that were being asked. And honestly, I don't remember the details of the question. I wanted to try to ask him something that wasn't Halloween related. The whole thing of it is he's standing there. His wife's right next to him. Myself, Jake, and another person who was waiting in line to get that signature. And I felt bad because we're taking longer. But even he's like, because I said, I'm sorry. I said, no, it's okay. Because Dick was standing there sharing a moment with all of us. It was probably 5 minutes or plus. And at that point, I'm thinking, I'm taking up too much of his time. But Dick didn't care. He was enjoying sharing his story.
Yeah.
And at every minute, I'm thinking, I'm listening to Mr. Dick Warlock right now share a story.
So awesome.
And I've got the photo, but just that experience. And that tells me, don't worry about recording it all the time, because you need to be there to enjoy that moment.
Yeah. That's awesome. Is that the photo that's behind you?
Yes. Dick Warlock to my left and Nick Castle. What? Dick and Dick. There we go.
You know what's crazy, Scott, is in 2017 when I met you, I would have never thought that you would say what you just said. And you said it all. So that's all I needed. You got to meet both of them. That's amazing.
You're right.
It is. It's amazing. And we talked Halloween back in 2017. We talked about it many times, lots of times, masks, etc. H1s, H2s, H4s, H5s, H6s, H7s, and just H2Os, etc. We went on and on. We even had friends that had one that tried to sell me one, and he changed his mind, which I can't blame him. We're not going to mention him, but it's just, etc. It was a great time. It was great meeting everybody the way that we met. And that's
James
positive.
is very much a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seriously, Andrew.
I love it.
James, yeah.
I love it. I just love it. I love the positivity.
I want to share a story, if you don't mind.
Please.
This is about Scott here. This is about Scott.
Please.
So when I started starting YouTube, I wanted to be like Scott. I'm not gonna lie. Like Scott was making YouTube videos of Michael Myers masks.
Yes.
And he's one of the reasons why I got into it. His editing was fucking awesome. He had a camera above him. He had cameras here and there, and he would always do these unboxings that were so sick. And he's one of the reasons why I started YouTube in general, like to do unboxings. And
One thing, James, can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. He had every angle covered. That's what the great excitement was about the house downstairs.
Yeah.
Is that when he came on, he had a box and he was unboxing it. And that's what you were excited about. Thank you for pointing that out.
My wife used to get pissed at me.
Yeah.
My wife would literally be like, I would sit there in bed and she'd be like, "Are you watching that fucking video again?" I'm like,
dude, I'm telling you, like, Scott is the reason why I started doing it. And then I moved into like actual reviews. But when I first started, I remember being like, dude, this guy fucking Scott is so cool, dude. He's opening these boxes. He has these sick masks, you know. So I started getting into the Michael Myers hobby. And I remember Scott had a mask drop challenge. I remember that. And yeah, I did it. I did it because of your video. And I remember that. And then I think a couple years later,
I forgot about it.
He forgot about it.
I remember I took my fucking mask and I was like, "Oh, here's a mask drop challenge, Scott." And I dropped my mask, you know, and it was cool. It was dope. But and then eventually Scott and I, we collaborated, and it was one of those things because Scott was like one of the very first YouTubers I was like kind of looking up to start YouTube, who was actually human and was like talkative and wanted to be your friend, and he wanted to just invite you in. And
Hunter,
thank you, Scott.
Yes, thank you, Scott.
Yes, thank you, Bar Downstairs.
This is so cool. I'm so excited about this. With all the rearranging that I've been doing, well, I found something that I thought I lost. This, yes, not a Ziploc bag, but what's inside the Ziploc bag is a good old-fashioned VHS tape. Yes, I happened to stumble across this little thing here. It's my very first mask review. Got my trusty knife all set up here. This knife right here, I'll tell you what, I've had it for years. And it is a sharp SOB. Woo, sharp little guy. All right, got everything open safely. Okay. Everybody loves their plastic bags. There's a damn good reason why. I've already got a good glimpse of it. Oh yeah, let's do something here real quick though. Oh yeah, got some more stuff. I don't want to accidentally throw any away that I don't want to throw away. I think we've got it all safely here. All right. Set this over here. There we go. The original Warlock, an American classic Cemetery Gates production by Terry Lambert. I do apologize, everyone, for a rude interruption there from Mr. Cough. All right, here we go. Oh boy. I'm just seeing the bottom of it right now. I'm hoping this is captured right here. I try to set that up better. Oh my God. Wow, I just had a chill go down my spine. This is... Wow. When I see this, the first thing that came to my mind right now, hold on, I automatically, boom, I went to Halloween 2. Look at that.
Honestly, thank you, Bar Downstairs, because truly, honestly, it sounds like James, you and I, and even Chris, I mean, we started following Scott early in the fact that that was his thing. I mean, he was unboxing cool-ass masks.
Hell, I mean, I started going back to the house hunting.
I really like this place. I really do. I'm gonna go for it. Smaller of the three. First room, you come to the right. It's decent size. I mean, for the smaller bedroom, it's a decent size.
Yeah, and the last time Scott and I did a video was weeks ago, years ago, and we were actually talking about a paranormal video, and in the middle of that video, it was a little haunted for us, and we're just like, you know what, we're gonna drop it, dude. We're not gonna do this anymore. that was incredible. There was like orbs happening and technical difficulties, and we're just like, you know what, fuck this.
I remember you were having technical difficulties. I mean, I'm not trying to use it as a technical difficulty.
Yeah.
There was some weird shit going on.
I remember watching that video. Not lying.
I took that shit off YouTube when that happened. I was like, you know, I watched the Demon House here at home. I slept and it was really weird sleeping, and I was like, all right, maybe it's just me being weird. And then we had our video, and then things were happening one after another, and I was like, you know what? We're both kind of like, nah, let's not do this.
Is that the one you told me to watch, and you were like, "Now, don't be afraid if weird things start happening, especially if you get a phone call." And I'm like, "What the fuck is this dude smoking?" I'm like, "What do you mean, man?"
Finally coming to a full circle now. There you go, James.
So I'm watching this video, and I'm like, I don't know what this fucking guy's talking about, and I'm like looking at my phone. I'm like, all right, I got no calls. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
It took an hour and 55 minutes to finally get to this point. It wasn't about this. You're going on your own. You're doing things, developing, becoming an amazing creator of yourself.
Who knows what we're going to see a year from now, 2 years from now from Grimm. But I really wanted this podcast to be a full circle of when you brought up that point, so Chris can understand why I told him you got to be careful when you watch.
He was driving that point home, and I'm the guy. I'm like throwing caution to the wind. I'm an impulse guy. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about. I'm gonna go watch this.
For the past 2 years, this town has tried to forget about Michael Myers. It's tried to move on. It's tried to heal. But all it's done is cave in on itself, turning everyone against each other, making them paranoid, scared. This town won't be able to heal until they see the boogeyman dead in front of them.
It's happening again. You're finished. You're done.
Run! Go!
Hey, James,
Yeah.
what was the most difficult part of shooting this film? Like, what was the biggest struggle you had? I followed it and watched it start to finish a couple times. What do you feel was your biggest struggle?
I would say managing that many people. I've never actually managed that many people on a film set prior to this. So,
That's
like,
a
you know,
lot.
1 minute I'll have makeup over here saying, James, I need you for this. And then I'll have a cast member over here. And then I'll have a crew member over here. And then I'll have this person. And I have to, like, kind of like be like, internally, mentally be like, okay, which one takes priority here? So I'm trying to create like a cue in my brain where it's like, oh, if that person needs to get their throat slit, okay, clearly I need to go to that person real quick. And then, and like, you know,
You're trying to remember what scene you're in, right?
I mean, hey, now you're gonna call me out on dick shit. I mean that that was a statement right there. Come on, that person needs their throat slit. Go do that.
yeah, because like we're trying to pump it, and it's not in like it's not pumping blood out. So they're like, okay, we need to figure something out. And then this person's like, oh, well, how do I do this? Or is there something you want me to change? And then this person's like over here, like, you know, with lenses and everything or whatever it is, just like trying to I won't say organize, but like be able to tackle several things at once while giving everyone the right attention they all deserve. So you see that moment where the character, his name is Adam, he gets over to the banister, or not the banister, but the rail of the stairs, and he gets his head pulled up, and he's looking in the mirror at himself as he gets his throat slit. That's what I was referring to. So like that's not in the script either. So when we were trying to kill him the way he was originally, we were like, oh, this is not going to work. And I was like, well, what if we have him crawl over to the staircase, and then, you know, there's a mirror right there. What if Michael makes him look at himself as he's bleeding out from a throat slit, you know? And so he gets over there, Michael pulls his head back and cuts him, and then all of a sudden you see blood start pulling out. And unfortunately, during the rigging, the tubing of the blood wasn't like flowing out properly. And then they end up getting it fixed. But
I'm thinking blooper reels. You guys had to have had so much fun during the process. If there was any blooper reels that you could share right now with us, just verbally, was there a moment where you guys just like could not stop laughing with certain scenes, or you know what I mean? Just because I always would imagine working on a horror film, there's got to be some moments where you guys are just laughing your ass off.
Horror and comedy just have to go to together, hand in hand.
The whole cabin sequence of the two, like I don't want to say like, okay, so they're the Big John, Little John of our movie, you know, the two gay guys out in the cabin. You know, yeah, that their entire thing where, you know, the one guy disappears and the other guy's like, when I find you, you're getting touched. And like, you know, he's saying all these fucking radical
I fucking love that.
Yeah, it's great, right? Like you hear that, you're just like, oh my God.
Please tell me
who
came up with that line, please.
I want to say it was the actor. The actor said it, and it almost didn't make cut. And I was like, "Oh no, that has to be in the movie." So then we found a way to add that line into the movie, and then in the theater premiere, everyone died,
Random.
and that line stuck with everybody. When I find you, you're getting touched, and I loved it. Yeah, I loved it.
What was it about Ends that made you want to create something different? Like, what was it about Ends that you were like, okay, this isn't it? Like, I've got to create something different.
You know what's interesting about that, and I've heard this from a lot of places like social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, like where a lot of people have. I've actually seen several people state somehow they got this source, I don't know where. James Grimm does not like the Halloween trilogy that David Gordon Green did. James Grimm has done nothing but criticize those movies, then makes one in that universe. James Grimm does not like Halloween Ends. Reality is, I love that trilogy. I've never criticized the trilogy, to be honest. I went into 2018, did the out of theater premiere reaction, loved it. Went and got an early viewing. My buddy who works in the industry gave me an early watch of Kills. Loved it. Saw Halloween Ends opening night. Loved it. I've been nothing but praiseful and positive for that trilogy. And so I don't know where people are kind of getting this idea, but we knew that with Ends and Kills having a 4-year time gap, that we want to tell story. And how are we going to do it that stays true to the source? That's David and Danny McBride, them have kind of created for who's there's another Scott Teems, him as well.
Right.
Wasn't there a fourth? Was it three?
I feel like that a lot. Right? It
feels
like
writers, right?
Yeah, it did grow, and I've never been a fan of that.
But truly and honestly, thank you for answering that. I mean, it's just that's a tough position to follow.
Yeah,
I mean, because there were a lot of us, honestly and truthfully, I'm going to speak for myself and myself only. I was not a fan of Ends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just wasn't. Okay. That's okay. It's just my opinion. I kind of liked Halloween. I kind of liked Halloween Kills, but just wasn't a fan of Ends. And I loved your interpretation of what happened thereafter. So,
yeah, I think it was really important, like for us to be like, okay, well, where's Michael been this entire time? Maybe has he been in the caves the entire time, like underground, And we wanted to touch base on that, but we also wanted to be so. With Ends, it's been kind of established at this point that Michael Myers is a man. He is just a man who bleeds. He's just like us, flesh and blood. And so we need to keep continuity there while also bringing Michael back and bring him back in a way that makes him powerful and badass. And he just takes no shit and he kills everyone brutally, no matter who you are. No matter what gender or race you are, whatever, I've heard people
about it. That's what I loved about it.
Michael don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up, because that scene where Michael was, in this sewage, it ends, where all of a sudden it seems like he's starting to get his mojo back.
Yeah, he's kind of like,
and he's shaking, and I couldn't help but think of Rocky Horror Show. Here he comes again.
He's like hulking up, dude. It's like Hulk. Yeah.
It's fucking wild. Yeah. And then there's another. If I could speak to your detractors there, I mean, what's wild to me is that they have such a they've started all these false narratives about you, when clearly you're making a passion project, as I've said several times. But not only that, but there is a time gap, as you've mentioned. So there is a timeline where you can have an open sandbox to play around in. So for you to choose that timeline is a smart path, because I don't see how people can get mad that you're playing around in the sandbox that was given to you by David Gordon Green. I mean, he did the time jump, and you should be able to utilize that.
Guys, we've gone into a second part here, and I feel bad.
I don't think we did a What the Fuck You Drinking, did we? We didn't have nothing at the top of the hour. We are like actually thirsting to death right now, guys. We didn't have a new drink.
What the fuck you drinking?
I've moved on to straight Elijah Craig here, 18 year.
Oh shit!
You sissy.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
You
If you want to venture in a little bit of a behind the scenes, it's Boca out, of course, which I don't even tell you that shit. But behind Chris has an establishment there that most Dayton, Ohio, could not hold down the high quality of bourbon that's in their bar compared to what's sitting behind him. And that's being really honest.
My wife wants to leave me over it, so if that gives you any indication.
She wants to leave you?
Like I told her when I married her, like if you ever want to like go out, cheat, whatever else, I mean, fine, go do what you're gonna do. But if you fuck me over, I'm killing you.
I really do. I got so much to cut out. So if you guys watch part 2 and it doesn't make any sense.
Are you getting sick and tired of always losing at hide and go seek? Well, go open a can of Meet Us in the Man Cave beer. It friggin' tastes awesome.
Drink responsibly. Only available at Bubba.
I got to know your background, and I'm just, setting up so you can tee it off. You obviously have been a collector just like us when it comes to these damn latex masks and all that. And
yeah.
Have you ever owned a master?
Son of a bitch, what are you doing now?
So
shit.
This is I have 2 Nemesis molds. This is like an original Nemesis plastic mold, like an original one, like way back when. This is where you pour your latex into. That I have that, and then I wanted it to be remade, but slightly shaped differently, and so I had someone make a brand new one, a little more together, and it looks like
an H2.
Exactly. It was shaped to be closer to an H2. I got an animatronic head, or it wasn't an animatronic head. He molded from the animatronic head that Spirit Halloween offered years ago. He took the head off, he remolded it, and then I was able to take that mold from Jamie and then repurpose it and sculpt it to become the current RZ Myers that I have now.
You're that first time you were getting ready to that very first poll, your first time of, oh my God, I'm not painting a mask. I'm not collecting them. I'm about ready to make my own mask. How many, did you go through that headache that some people have gone through? Like they've oh my God, I've wasted so much latex here to where I finally got a decent mask.
Not so much latex, but when, speaking of Chris Morgan, he used to have the H2 WMP, what was it called? The V2, H2, what was it? 7, the 7 V2. I used to have that mold, or maybe it was the V1. I'm pretty sure it was the 7 V2. It had a slightly bigger nose, if I remember correctly. And what I would run into really wasting material on was the Ultra Cal trying to mold it from the master. I swear I would get 100-pound bags of that shit, and every time I try to mold it, it would just clump up and get hard before I can properly actually layer onto the master.
I got a question. I don't know if that's been discussed yet, but how many times, because I've heard about the Nemesis so many times, do you know possibly the lineage, how many times that, because it seems like it's changed hands so many times, and to see that you have a master is quite interesting to me.
I'm probably one of 5 additional other people who have access to that master right now. I think myself and Chris Morgan, I believe, has one. I got this one from Tyler Adams.
All right, yeah.
And then I have to imagine Terry has one. A gentleman by the name of Brandon Tabato. I know he had it at one point.
Yeah.
And there's 1 or 2 other people who have it. Joel Powers, he has it.
Yeah, I actually have. Joe sent. I'm anxious to paint it over at Chris's house. I have a blank from him from that.
See, this is fascinating to me because when we say a master, you think about maybe 1 copy, but there's actually several masters that are kind of exchanging hands, right?
When I got it, I think 4 other people owned it. Dallas, I'm sure is using it. Joel, I know, is actively using it, and Joel's getting pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
As we all know, there's always drama in this bullshit. Have you gotten any harassment from any of this shit?
So I
Seriously,
have a
that's what I
story,
do.
and I want no one who may hear this, you guys or anyone else included, to take anything negative from this. When I first got into the hobby of wanting to do masks, because it's expensive to buy. Have you guys ever heard of Creation X?
Yes.
So he recasted a H6 mask.
He was largely on Instagram, correct?
I believe so. Yes. And so Creation X, he recasted the H6 mask and got his own master, which had like shitty ass features. When I say shitty, I mean just really dull features. And
Sure.
and then Chris Morgan eventually got the H6 master. So I remember me posting in the Myers groups being very green. We're talking 2017 or 18. Where I was like, "Oh, guys, I got this new master. What do you think?" All these things, and I wasn't really understanding that the hobby was so like toxic. I was excited, and all I got was negativity. Like, you own a fucking master that was recasted. You're this, you're that, and all these fucking things. And I remember people hitting me up in the comments, people in private, and I'm like, "What's wrong with all you fucking children? Like, what's wrong with you people? Like, what's happening right now?"
Yeah.
And I remember, like, respectfully, Chris Morgan, him and I are cool. We're very understanding of each other. I understood him better after the conversation him and I had, but it was like, hey, you own a master that's been recasted from a mold that I own. And my thing was like, I understand. Well, I now understand that, and I now know that, and I'm sorry, but it was recasted before I owned it. I haven't done anything wrong here. Yeah. And Chris and I, we talked it out and everything, and he didn't like the idea, and that's fine. I did sell it because at the end of the day, its features were very dull, and it wasn't a really good. It didn't sell well, and it was like it was really small too. It was already really small, so when I molded it, and
because when you do the recast, I mean, you lose like a quarter of an inch each time it's been recast. I mean,
yeah, and then every time, if you make a stone mold with every latex pull you do, it's getting smaller and shrinking, and like it's like getting small enough where I throw it on a fucking baby's head, and it's like, no, I can't do anything with this. I'm gonna sell it.
The only thing you can do is try to let it dry in cold air. That's the only thing that's going to somewhat slow down the shrinkage.
Yeah,
but it's latex. You can't fight nature. It's latex.
And at the time, I didn't understand like Chris Morgan's stance on it, because Chris was kind of like, you own a recasted thing that from something I own, and my thing was like, oh well, I bought it after, not knowing it was a recast, and I understand his point of view on it, where it's like, I'm trying to make money off this, and you own something that's kind of looked at as really terrible, as stealing from me. Even though I mean, I'm not in the wrong for that.
No, I mean, you were excited about getting your foot in the door and getting into a hobby that you loved, and I totally understand that.
And unfortunately, I just bought the wrong piece, not knowing the history.
Yeah.
I bet your bladder is about to explode. Well, Chris and Scott, they'd like to help you out. How's that, you say? By simply subscribe, liking, and sharing to Meet Us in the Man Cave, where we can finally achieve those YouTube ads, and you can finally go take a piss.
Hey,
Hunter.
Guess who that is?
Super nice man.
It's Dick.
Whatever.
That's fucking awesome.
Whatever, Chris Webb.
Guys, I'll tell you what, I had a blast tonight. It was fun. It was great. I really can't, James, I can't thank you enough for coming on here, putting up with my constant blah, 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 asking stupid questions. Thank God. That's why I had Chris. That's why I said, Chris, can you help me do a podcast? We need to do a podcast so I can have somebody who's intelligent and ask the great questions. And he's like, yeah, how about Meet Us in the Man Cave? Christopher Webb is responsible for the name of this podcast, he is responsible for, I shit you not, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, what are we going to call it? What are we going to call it? And Mom would say, 6 to 8 hours later, he's like, how about Meet Us in the Man Cave? And then he actually came up with the concept of the evolution of the man cave. So I'm always going to share that story, and I want to make sure that it comes up every once in a while. So Meet Us in the Man Cave, the idea. So technically, that's why I call him the boss.
No, guys, I mean, honestly, I really appreciate you guys asking all these questions, and then us talking about masks and like, you know, the movies and other things. Dude, like, it's been an exciting time. Like, I'm glad that we didn't actually stick to just Halloween, that we can all bond over several things, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you, James.
And I want to say thank you for the support, but I want to say thank you. Well, I want to say thank you to all three of you. Scott, dude, you're the guy who brought this all together. I mean, like you know them. I know you, and you know, we were all able to connect from our love from Michael Myers, Halloween, masks, and everything. So thank you, Scott, for being like that. I want to say a trailblazer for unboxings, for Michael Myers related content, dude, because you, like I said before, you are why I started even getting into YouTube. You are the reason why I got into YouTube. I used to watch a guy named Dave McCrae. He's why I started doing reviews. And like,
great stuff. Great stuff.
The two of you,
I look up to him.
He's a good dude. I met him before. He's a nice guy, and you're a great guy. And you guys helped me get into YouTube and even wanting to be like, you know, maybe I could put my face out there and try to have fun and talk to an audience in front of a camera, as awkward as I may be sometimes. And so thank you, Scott, for being that guy who fucking started this for me.
Hey, I'm just glad that I showed you, hey, come on in. You did everything else on your own. You really did. And I'm very impressed, very proud of you. And I really want to cheerlead you on to do more. I can't wait to see your next film.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you, man.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome.
James, nice to meet you, my friend.
That being said,
good night, boys.
Night.
Have a good night.